jump into things. So that being said, John, if you're squared up, I'll turn it over to you, sir.
Great. Thank you very much, Brian. I appreciate it. Well, good Monday evening to everybody. I know this is our normal spot here. My computer crashed today, so I am trying to jump on, Monica's computer to try to do this right quick here. And of course, that kind of failed pretty harshly. So I am going to be on the phone. So this is an exciting time for a lot of you guys getting stuff ready. But we also have the excitement of spring break coming up. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but all of our CSPs did leave, did get a chance to leave to get in there. Hey, can you guys hear me, by the way?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. No problem. So we get the pleasure of these guys getting a chance to go run and do their thing. They're in Jamaica right now, which is really a lot of fun and exciting opportunity for those guys. And then we have the district managers leave next week. And a lot of people are doing some cool stuff. Dobson's going to Austria. Brian Carter is going to have a really great romantic time with his wife in Paris. Monica and I are going to go with Lloyd Reagan to Switzerland and do a little skiing. So excited about just about everything. So a lot of really, really cool stuff that's coming up. And so that being said, look forward to getting all of our mailer crap done so that we're ready to rock and roll. And we'll be there before you know it. So this is really a fun time. A lot of you guys get a chance to run your first training classes. I was talking to somebody today. Dustin Marks and I have been joking about getting ready. And if you guys don't know Dustin Marks, he's a Hall of Fame manager. The guy sold $75 million before he left Cutco. And he's running a really great high-level company right now with Danny Feldman. And it really is positive, exciting, and fun, and all this kind of really great stuff. But his first training class, I think he launched 3 people. They sold $25,000. Those 3 people did their first weekend, except for the fact that all $25,000 was on stolen credit cards and were all fake. So, he's like, dude, something's not right. I'm like, dude, it sounds like they're kicking butt. And he goes, I'm telling you, something's not right. This is before the virtual demo and everything. And we just laughed our freaking asses off because, honest to God, as funny as it was to see them have that success, I mean, it was like a credit card from Florida, a credit card from Minnesota, a credit card from all over this great country of ours. And the only thing we could figure out is that they had some hookup where people were stealing stuff via truck stops. So somehow they got in the truck stop credit cards business, and we even called some of the customers. We're like, really? How'd you like the demo? Like, I did a great job. Like, cool. How did you do it from Florida? Well, I'm a truck driver. He met me in whatever. It's just so lame. So when you get a chance to get involved with start doing training, some of you guys are going to get off to a really great start, and it's going to give you a little bit of a false sense of security. And then some of you guys are going to start off really crappy, and it's probably going to hurt your enthusiasm a little bit because the bottom line is the first time I did the one little part of training, I took a 20-minute part and I made it 45 minutes before role playing. So there's so many crazy things that are evolving in our company. Needless to say, my guys didn't sell a whole lot when it came to getting started. So I did not have that really cool effect where I launched 3 people and they sold them $1 gazillion. So a lot of things are out there. So a couple things I want to make sure you guys do. We want to make sure if you have this, you want to go ahead and pull it out or at least have it on your computer. What I like to do from a timing standpoint today is kind of go through the first day, kind of getting things set up for what stuff that's going on. But I also want to try to give you a couple things here. So I know some of you guys have already done, like, for example, the confirmation calls, just reaching out to people to make sure they realize there's a live human being that's going to be waiting for them, get them excited. We want them to be really get to know something about them. There's no question about it. It's a short call. But the reality is the biggest thing we want to make sure is that we share some positive stuff, especially if they're a PR and how their people are doing. And we also want to follow up with making sure that they have their names list and getting people to bring names to training is going to be something that's going to be very, very, very important. So we want to make sure that everybody's got that part down because your people will be able to really be able to tell if they don't have their stuff. It's it's much more difficult. How about that? To get everything done that they're supposed to get done. So, all right. So other couple things that are on here. So far, almost everything that we need to get done the company is going to provide. So see where it says first promo, first weekend poster. Company's going to give you that. 10K poster, we're going to give you that. Now the big checks you're going to have to do on your own. So we're going to send a form. We're going to send you an email, and it's going to have a poster, and you can decide what you want to do as far as what you want to see. But what I would do personally, especially for you guys that are new offices, go back to your district manager and write some really big fat checks for the people that you know got really fat checks. So that's really exciting. Really positive news for one of our guys, Jared Ambrose, who's on the call tonight. Jared's a new assistant manager for us, which we're excited about. But the really cool part is Jared's right about $4,000. So Jared will actually get his first $1,000 paycheck on Friday. So pretty doggone exciting. Young man sitting there at Collin College, doing a really great job. It looks like David's going to get a chance to have him for his office. It was kind of our game plan. So David's been working really hard with him, and Jared's been really working hard to do the demos and getting stuff going. So really excited about that, to say the least. So want to make sure we get that in there. Really cool. So he'd be a really great check to have, especially checks that have your name on it or somebody else, is something that's really, really positive and cool. So now, other things it says there, Dirty 30 promotion, we're going to give that to you as well. Clean, beautiful, organized Cutco display. You are going to get all the knives that come in the Fast Start contest. You get all those knives. Now, they're not free, but they charge you 10%. So you get $1,000 of the knives for $100. So that's something that's not too terribly bad. So you'll have a bunch of knives out there. Make sure your sample kits look good out there. And then whatever trophies and awards that you have, depending on your office, depends how we'll set it up. You have a lot of awards, we'll set it up in a pretty big way. You can also steal things from your manager. So there's a big, big opportunity to be able to steal stuff from your manager, especially if they have extra stuff. It's going to be a big deal. Company provides name tags, but pins, you'll do on your own. If you want to grab extra notebooks, you'll do that on your own. And then you're going to have copies of just about everything that you'll need to make. Sign-in sheets, welcome sheets, first weekend specials. That's stuff that's going to be on your own. Scholarship notebooks on your own. Training manuals, we're going to already have taken care of that for you. Price list, that's already going to be taken care of. Cutco cookware, all that stuff is going to be already part of the package. So it would be really, really good. I know a lot of people are kind of bummed out because we can't sell the kitchen companion set anymore as of today. I know it kind of sucks, especially when it comes to the price was great. We sold a crap load of those, and we're not getting a whole lot of those right now. So just FYI. Make sure you have all the stuff ready that you're going to be able to use in training. You have rope and leather, petite carvers so they can cut stuff up. Do you have all that? Again, I know what happens a lot of times is people get busy, and then somebody has a good training class where, man, I didn't cut up anything. I didn't do anything. But I promise you it's way easier and way better when they get a chance to hold Cutco, feel Cutco, get a chance to use it. All that stuff comes down to a really, really important part of where they're going to be able to have success, and you need to make sure you're following through on that for them. By the way, everything that we're going to give, you're going to be able to get from the company. So this doesn't cost you anything. You're going to have all that kind of stuff. I guess, to be honest, you're probably going to have to buy your own pennies or whatever. You even get a little bit of leather from the company, but if you don't know where to get leather, your manager hasn't sent you yet, Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby is the place to go to get stuff. So making sure you get that stuff is a big deal. Now, a couple different ideas. We want to try to have something for them on day one, whether it be, I know Drew and them are real big pizza people. Again, especially if it's late in the day, I like pizza. If you have a lot of training left, they start eating pizza, man. You just see their eyes start to get tired. They start to close. I mean, I'll sit there and walk around and try to thump people and stuff. But the bottom line is you want to make sure you have some type of snacks for them. The guys in the pilot office are pretty good. They know that we always have food around, going around, which is important. And also some Cokes. Give them a little bit of caffeine if we can. And then, of course, day two, for your special people, you like bagels or, breakfast. If you really love them, and I don't love a lot of my training classes based on this, is, man, when we were in SE2, when the Jordan brothers would bring in those kolaches, oh, my God, they were so good. So good. It's almost like having Gordon's, Chipotle for breakfast. They're so good. So delicious. Especially when you find out the name of the place is called The Donut Shop. Like, what is it really? No, it's just the donut shop. That's all there is. Okay, make sure you have water. It has stuff on there about dehydration, which I think is really, really fun. Okay, so when it comes to video training, key relationships are going to be very important. So you being involved and being on. But the worst thing in the world someone can do is just hang out in their office until people get there, and then they're filling out the welcome sheets, and you're in there. Just seem busy. Make sure they feel a heartbeat. If you're the only one in there right now, make sure they feel a heartbeat. They know what's going on. They feel good. Last week, David was doing some stuff for his parents. So when everybody first got there, the second day, there wasn't a lot of enthusiasm. So I was trying to be in there and talk to them and trying to get them excited and confident about the things that we wanted to be able to get going. All that good stuff are really, really important. So again, I know some will get frustrated when somebody gets there too early, but that's okay. Be there early anyway. Get them excited about what's going on, because I feel confident that, again, the attitude is going to be based on your enthusiasm and what's going on. So very important to get ready to go. And do you have all your stuff going on? Do you have your videos that are there? All the videos that you'll need, and we're going to pass out a hookup here in a little bit. But you'll have access to all the videos. You'll have everything that you need to be able to play and be able to go knock out. All that stuff is going to be important. Probably not a real shock. But bottom line is that you want to make sure in your process is staying in the room. This is not video training as in you're just turning videos on and it's going to walk around. There are critical parts in this leader's guide where you're going to get a chance to step up and make sure that you're going after it and getting people excited. So the very, very beginning, and again, my welcome talk, I know is always long, or at least I feel like it's always long. But again, you want to give your own personal welcome to training, especially what's going on. Explain that you're part of the Texoma division. Again, we have the best events team. We have the number 3 branch manager in the nation. We have basically 3 Hall of Fame managers that are in our division, which is pretty amazing when you think about that, right? And when you want to make sure that you let them know what you're responsible for, and if you have a team goal or team pride or whatever you want to be able to share, that's something to really be excited about. Or our team name. That's what I was trying to think. Again, I hate that team no sleep stuff, but man, it sure freaking works, man. Those guys, team no sleep. It's easy to scream no sleep, and again, some of our guys are like, hey, I want extra sleep, but you get the idea. Talk about when you started, what you wanted to do, where you wanted to move into, are so doggone important, and then make sure you're setting up goals for your office. Like, what are you trying to be able to do? The idea is that a lot of places are they're gonna know that you're pretty new, but in general, you don't want everyone to know that your 19-year-old college kid just started last summer. You want to really leave a little bit of anticipation for your key staff, a little bit of anticipation for people that are going to get a chance to know you a little bit better. I like the one part because you want to be able to be, again, there's all blanks. So you'll be able to fill in your own blanks and be able to look at it and be able to practice it. But it goes down to the bottom there. It says, hey, look, my number one job is to support you. Communication is crucial, and talk about just being available to things that you have. It's a great time. If you want to talk about big goals, I want to hear that too. The better we can do it with you, the better I can coach you, the better I want to be able to help you. And again, the goal is to help your goals. Help you get my job is to help you get your goals. If you guys are from the pilot office or you guys know Calvin, this is a perfect time to put in some really great stories as it relates to Calvin being able to help and support and be able to offer those things when you're even with a customer that will help you make sales, which I think is a really, really big deal. So we explain what's going to happen. The next page is this is what's going to happen over the next couple of days, right? You're going to get a chance to learn the demo. We're going to study some competitors. We're going to learn some marketing and sales skills. We're going to learn about some sets and prices and pay review. You also want to make sure we talk about targeting lists and schedule and phone. And, of course, we always focus on your best 5. That goes without saying. But we want to see your best 5 prospects first, right? And then tomorrow, do our paperwork, sample kits, really cool contest called your Fast Start. Of course, we got a lot of tomorrow is a big review. We'll learn about all the smaller sets, the gifts and accessories, virtual demo, and how to get recommendations, how to write up orders, right? So, and we'll also get a chance to practice the entire demo. So, again, want to make sure that we're really doing a really, really big job here, because you want people to be excited about what to expect. And then when you jump into the video training with Wes and Drew, we need to do a really good job in being able to build them up, right? I know you guys don't know a whole lot about Wes and Drew, but right now they're the number 1 and number 2 office managers in the nation. These are really, really good things to be able to share and be able to promote with them. So they don't just look at 2 guys that are doing training, right? We want them to be excited and fired up about listening to these guys that are going on. But it's really one of the biggest things to make sure that you're sharing there is that we can take a person with no sales experience and sometimes no experience at all and really make them very, very successful. And again, we want you to give your best, and we have the best people in the world that can do it. Again, people are used to watching YouTube, and they're used to watching all that crazy crap on the computer, or more importantly, even the phone. This is going to be a little more intense as far as Cutco goes, and not as funny. There's not as much of the funny crap that's in there, but we want to make sure we're really doing a good job. Promote them. I read this last week, but you think about it, just Drew's won 19 silver cups. That is a pretty amazing, intense factor in us watching these videos. When you've got a chance to, and again, and most of his silver cups, he hasn't been not the number one office in 10 years. And that's pretty ridiculous. Wes he's grown for 10 years in a row. Like, he's never gone backwards in sales. He's had that consistency, which has been so doggone exciting. But you want to make sure that we're following up and really building up what's going on. Another big thing is that we want to make sure people realize this is not about watching a movie. Okay, this is training. You need to take notes. You need to answer questions, right? Out loud, participate fully. And then again, this is your personality, but Wes loves to say, look, if you don't do it, if you don't write it out, the reality is we'll just keep watching it over and over and over until you get it, right? And he smiles really, really big, again, because that works out. The way his attitude is, he goes, look, we're going to be here for 2 days. I want to give you all the support and coaching I possibly can. We want to make sure that you get a ton out of this training. It really is important, right? So you understand why it's important to get engaged. That almost everybody says yes, but they will be engaged to the level that you are going to be engaged, right? So when you start the video, now it's time to get some going. Okay, so some things that you want to do. Number one are your stop buys, right? So if you have stop buys, meaning reps that come in, right, or reps that come in, or other reps from other offices that come in, right, we want them to be able to hear their story, hear a little bit of what's going on. Now, the most important part about stop buys are that you're the one controlling all of them, right? Think about that for a second. You're the one controlling all of them. You're sitting here going through it, and you're literally going, hey, but what do you like most about the job? That's pretty easy and simple. You may ask another question. Hey, by the way, what kind of advice would you give this person? But be careful, right? Stephen Decker, I love Stephen Decker, but one time I said, hey man, what was the advice would you give these guys? And it was kind of a long thing about, I guess a little bit about working hard, but the reality was, for people that are only a day old or a couple minutes old, the reality is it didn't mesh quite so well compared to the attitude or what we're training. So people doing simple things like talking about they were scared at first, but then they did well, or they had a good fast start, or follow the manual. Those are all things. Cut food. Those are all really, really great things for your guys to promote. So if you're unsure, let them know about that beforehand. Also, your manager or myself or someone else in the office can also FaceTime in. Just put us up on the screen, or you can just Zoom us in, pop us up on the screen, and we can do a quick 5-minute deal. I think I talked at almost every one of Nicole's meetings last year. And let's be honest, I didn't come up with the idea. She did. She just kept pushing and saying, hey, I really want you to come and speak to my guys. And I was like, look, I don't have time to get over there. Can I just do it by video? And all of a sudden it's like, dang, that's pretty cool. And then we start to do that over and over and over. And, because of something that she wanted to get done, through Skype and FaceTime, everything else all seemed to work out. So very, very positive thing there for sure. So the opening comments are a little long. They're 60 minutes. You have to start, though. You have to start on time. If you wait for people, then everything just gets behind, right? So if they miss a couple minutes, they're going to be okay, right? So you talk about their schedule reference. Again, when people are in school, they work around a lot of jobs in school, stuff like that. And when it talks about getting the first promotion in the first weekend, stop and talk about some people that did that, right? So if you're unsure, what we'll do again, if you don't have anybody, just text us. Say, hey man, who got first promotion first weekend? And we'll go Bobby, Tommy, Charlton, whatever it is. So we'll be able to shoot stuff to you to make sure that you're going to be good. But it's really, really important that they understand that, right? 10K fast starters, right? We have so freaking many 10K fast starters. And I have 4 different posters up at the office that are just talking about 10K fast starters with their pictures and all that kind of fun stuff. And we just have so many of those people that are out there. If you need any extra help, Chelsea sold $37,000 last week, or 2 weeks ago. Last week, she only sold like 27 or something. How crazy, right? So again, these are such big doggone numbers, right? But again, the goal isn't that everyone has to go out and sell that, or even you. We just want the expectations to be there, so people are making sure that they have a good attitude as they're going for them. You know, promoting the BMW program is a nice, fun deal. And how many of us already have BMWs already? So that's really cool. And for you guys that are district managers, you guys are going to be able to have that coming up here pretty quick. I got a chance to meet with Celeste today, and it was so fun to talk about, you know, the BMW. And man, it's crazy. She found one she really liked, but it was a 7 Series of all things. And her mom fell in love with it, but the company is like, yeah, district managers can't get 7 Series, man. Those are too expensive. So we want to make sure people are doing that, right? So talk about Drew. After Drew's section, you stop the video again and talk to them. Hey, I'm so excited tonight. You're getting a chance to actually make your first phone calls, which will be a lot of fun. You'll also get a chance to do some when you get home, of course, and tomorrow morning, which is really cool. And again, it says, hey, man, build value in having the first weekend, your first appointment booked before the training ends. And again, don't worry. Whatever they have to do, whatever somebody says, you got to be like just roll with the punches kind of person, right? Because you're in the very, very beginning. Oh, my God, I have this. I got to do this. No problem, man. We'll get that fixed up. We want them to feel confident that they can be able to do it, which is really cool, right? They're going to talk about the AM opportunity, and what's really great is talk about the AM opportunity when you're literally, you may not have a whole lot of AMs, right? But you get 4 or 5 guys that are AMITs in training or AMITs, right? And they got people that are helping you out that are working through there. Drew Frank won a silver cup, and when he started with Cutco in Denver, he didn't have a single assistant manager. And by the beginning of June, he already had 4. So he really found a way to work hard to get those people. And 2 of those people went out to be really, really great branch managers the next year. And one of the guys, I think, branched 3 times. It's pretty intense. But he's branching at like a $400,000 level. It was really freaking crazy. All right. Best customers we always talk about. You get the idea there. Best 5 is always a big deal. Again, you want to be able to remember the phrases that the Frank brothers are using so you can continually use them over and over and over again. Guys, I've run training for 30 years, but I still like to watch the video with the people, right? So I can learn little things, right? Best 5 is something that I don't naturally say until a couple years ago. I never said, who's your best 5? Who's your best 5? Who's your best 5? Right? And again, that was something we never dealt with. Now people are talking about it all the time, and they want them to focus on who the people are that are going to be their very, very best 5. Right? Stop it again after you talked about people that own Cutco. Now, you already have your own Cutco stories, so make sure that you're sharing Cutco stories with your people. Like, do they know that Cutco is a great product yet? Do they know how long it's going to last? You know, you've seen so many people that have owned Cutco. Let's make sure that you're continually focusing and doing that, right? So again, ask them if any of their parents own Cutco. Raise their hand if they know how long it is. You know, again, just really working hard to set the attitude and the preface of what's going to be happening over the next few days. Okay, I know I'm running out of time, but the demo review's on here too. Talk about food to cut, right? Again, if you guys don't know the story about cutting food, I got totally lucky my 3rd week with Cutco. Some lady there, again, it's a boring story maybe for some of you guys, but she basically said, hey, can we cut a tomato? And food cutting started for me right there because I made more money in 1 freaking hour sitting on my butt than I did 40 hours working construction. That was my first time I ever made over $280 on a single demo, right? And that's back when the homemaker was $500. So that was a real big deal for me. My next time I went out and sold another $100, right? That was really cool to me because the average person, the minimum wage back then was $3 an hour. So $100 was gigantor compared to how people were feeling. So again, when you're going through your stuff, it says you can go over the virtual demo, stop the video, and just say that you can learn the virtual demo the exact same way you're learning the live demo. The only difference is you push a button versus turn the page. Same demo, same everything. So if you have somebody that says, man, I'm not from the area, but I have a ton of people in Chicago, I'm pretty sure one of the biggest orders and probably the only Cutco kitchen that's ever been sold forever in my office in my territory, wasn't even from one of my reps. Like literally someone from Chicago who was from Dallas. It's like, hey, he did a virtual demo for somebody and they bought a Cutco kitchen because the manager called me from Chicago, Mike Muriel. I was like, dude, congratulations. We just sold a Cutco kitchen in your backyard. I'm like, what the hell? We'll tell you. And again, no one sold Cutco kitchens back then, right? So we're going back 10 years. And I was like, damn, that's CPO was like $7,200 or something because they bought extra gifts. I was like, crap, man, where the hell was my rep on that one? I just wanted them to keep selling a lot more, obviously. So So make sure you're ready to get some food going, get the virtual demo going. Again, make the gross knife face during the junk knives, right? Get them excited about what's going on. Talk about the features and benefits, right? Pass out the things that you need, the things that you want, right? Making sure that when you're going through your breaks, you're passing out water, or you have like a little water station or whatever, right? So all that stuff is really important. But keeping people moving, alive, all that stuff is going to be a big deal. If they just sit there and sit there and sit there, they're going to get tired and not be too terribly excited. So last couple things here, and we'll start off with next week. But basically, making sure that we're going through the names and uses are going to be really good. Pass out the knives that he's explaining. Anything you have, make sure that you're sharing. And then my favorite part is the value and competitive cutlery. We will have some handouts for you for some of our competitors, but WilliamSonoma.com, any of that stuff, again, you can pull that stuff up. It's pretty easy. But he goes over everything, and everything sets up the beginning of the close. And again, if you don't know what the value section is for, literally it's all about building the value and what Cutco is based on what everything else is. We just want to inflate their thinking. We want them to realize, if someone has a Porsche, they get the Porsche is expensive. When it comes to knives, they have no freaking clue, right? They're trying to figure out how to pay off their textbooks in some cases, much less trying to figure out how to buy a Porsche. So they have no idea. But let them know what else on the market, and let them know good things don't cost hundreds, cost thousands. Unfortunately, my daughter's house burned down. So yesterday they picked out their cabinets and their flooring for their home, right? Because they're rebuilding. And the cabinets and the flooring for their home were well over $20,000 combined, right? Just for freaking wood, right? But that's what it cost, right? No, I'm not saying they have to like it, but that is what it cost. And again, if you've never had to do that before, you would never know how much stuff like that costs. I know for me personally, even when we did our kitchen, that's the first freaking time I ever figured out how much cabinets cost. It was just ridiculous because every house already had cabinets, so I was like, cool, those are good enough for me. And then we ended up going, obviously going a little bit bigger, right? So again, talk about the value, which is really a big deal, and make sure they know how to go over the close. All we're going to cover is page 8 and 9. Make sure they know how to say the prices, and then you can talk about making $5K in the next 3 months. And again, this is going to be the real big deal. It's going to be the names list, and then the schedule and the phone approach. So, guys, I'm already out of time, so we're going to come back to this on next Monday. And since we don't have so much free stuff, we'll be able to knock it all out. But let me just throw a couple things your way. So we have a lot of things that are going to be happening the next couple weeks with people coming in and people coming out, from spring break to Munich to Switzerland, you name it. People are bouncing around all over the country. I'm sorry, all over the world, I guess, because of all this, because of all the travel stuff. Please make sure that you're still knocking out all the things that you do. If you haven't knocked out your high school dates, please, please, please do that now, right? Again, it's pretty doggone easy. No one has a million high schools. I don't believe so. It's pretty easy for us to be able to knock out, but all that stuff is going to be really important. Brian brought it up a little bit earlier, but doing all your variables and stuff, don't worry about that. We'll take care of some of that stuff for you. We're talking about raising the pay rate for a little bit. We may go as high as $18 this summer to see how that goes. But again, if you're not doing your Facebook, you're not adding people on Instagram, if you want to go to Nick Smith's YouTube channel, go to Nick Smith's YouTube channel. There's a whole thing about how to do Instagram as well. It's a really neat thing to be able to put out. Cutco is already testing and doing some stuff on Snapchat. We already know that, when it comes to PRs, that's something pretty easy. But you want to be able to do like a Facebook fast start, but people are really doing stuff on Instagram as well. And he's working really hard to make sure that it's ready to roll. But that's kind of where we're at. I know we're out of time, but we want to be at the situation where you have all your basic stuff done, so that when it comes to really diving into March and especially April is all about refining your productivity skills, refining your interview skills to make sure that you're ready to go. And all the stuff that has to be done now, the paperwork and all that crap that we do, is to make sure that all that they're when we're working on our skills, they're working on everything else. They're making sure that everything's ready to go to get them out there and kicking some butt. Once I get back from Munich, there'll be a lot of, we have to have some conversations about what you can spend, what you can afford to spend as far as your mailers go. I know some of you guys have a lot of mailers, and I know you won't be able to afford to send out everything that you have, obviously, but we want to make sure that you're sending out everything that you can. So everything's going to be really, really good for you. And again, we get $6,000 to get the ball rolling. About $1,000 of that's going to go to your posters, flyers, and all your literature to get you started. So that knocks it down to $5,000. And then with a lot of guys sharing office space, et cetera, we're just going to keep knocking out little things so you guys can work on the cheap, the best that you can. So, guys, I'm super excited about what's going to be happening. I feel like we're standing really, really well. The video training I know is a little new to some of us, for sure, but the productivity on the video training has been really great, up 15 and 20% respectively in the territories they're using it, and meaning Wes's territory and then Drew. I don't have the exact number for Lone Star, but they're really, really up in productivity and new business. I just don't know if everyone's using the video or everyone's, part of people using the video. Stacy's going to get back with me tomorrow. I'll have something better to be able to share with you guys. So thank you guys very much for the time tonight. I'm really looking forward to seeing all of our successes coming up. And I know we have a lot of really, really big plans going on, but a lot of really cool things are coming down the hatch. And, we're working on a really cool opportunity for us to travel with everybody this next year. And of course, the company has the Cayman Islands, which is going to be pretty doggone exciting. Right now in Germany, it's 15 degrees. So it's a little chilly, to say the least, but not quite like the Cayman Islands would be right now. So I got that on my weather forecaster, and I think it's 78 degrees or something in the Cayman Islands. And it's, I'm going to Switzerland as well. So it's like -1 degree in Switzerland. So it's like, hey, good times. I will be skiing down the Alps, though. So that's a bucket list thing that I'll be able to knock off. So, guys, thank you very much. I already spoke too long, 5 minutes or after. Thank you very much. Please have one fantastic afternoon, or even, Jesus Christ, one fantastic evening, and be ready to kick some butt because it's going to be a lot of fun, especially once we get back. Everything goes really, really fast. Cool? All right, guys. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Have a good one, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, John.
You got it, guys. You bet. Have a good one.
Bye.